I'm Desiree. I'm one of 3 founders of Disguise Cosmetics. Disguise is India's first vegan and cruelty-free makeup brand. We started in 2018 and in fact just finished our 4th birthday yesterday. So this was started by 3 of us who are scientists. We've previously worked with similar companies focusing on makeup, skincare, hair care. And at our previous job, a lot of our discussion, our coffee table discussion was around things that we weren't really too happy with in this space. Me, for example, I'd never used lipstick till I was 27 years old, which for many people could be really old. Like, I always watched my mom apply it. It looked so seamless, very easy to apply. Seen a lot of other people do it as well. But the first time that I tried it, it was definitely not what I expected it to be. It was really hard to apply. It pulled at my lips. The feeling was uncomfortable. Later when I took it off, my lips felt really dry. And I just assumed that, when I saw other people do it, they didn't have these problems. And when I actually started to think about it, everyone who actually used a lot of makeup did have these concerns. Especially people who were new to using new products were very apprehensive, because once you sort of draw a line, it's not as easy to remove. So you're really scared to put that line on in the first place. That's when we started realizing that there were these issues with lipstick. There were similar issues with a product like Kajal, which people have been using for so long. But there were so many people who complained of having itchy eyes, eye irritation. And this is literally a product that they put on you as a kid, as babies. And once we started, looking for problems, we found a lot of them. And then we were just wondering, why haven't companies fixed this till now? And there were companies as big as MNCs who were literally omitting the entire Indian story to makeup. So in the West, a lot of people use makeup as young as 12 and 13 in school. So you get used to these problems a lot earlier in life, that you get so used to them that they stop being problems. But in India, we're not really a country which uses these products as young. We often have the notion that, makeup is bad for you, is bad for your skin. And so a lot of these things really, we finally only use it for weddings, bigger festivals and functions. So we realize these problems a lot later, and there really aren't many solutions. So when we started Disguise, it was really important for us to have products that were comfortable to use, that were easy to use for someone who's new to the space, that were fun to use, and as well as to address the entire sustainable aspect of it. It was really important for us for it to be vegan, cruelty-free, recyclable, as sustainable as possible. In fact, most of our website orders go out without any, plastic packaging. A lot of these things were really important for us, and it's been a journey over the last 4 years developing this with Disguise, keeping in mind the everyday Indian consumer. So, as I mentioned, we just finished our 4th birthday. That was 6th of April. When we started Disguise, I finished my last day at my previous job end of March. So we literally had 1 week to get Disguise up and running. The quickest thing that we could find was to set up a website on Shopify, use some of their free templates, have a basic structure, take some pictures at home. It was really an entire home edition of the website. And while we were going through the apps on Shopify, we were really concerned with how, even if somebody finds this website and buys a product, how do we get the product to them? And luckily we saw Shiprocket. It was still an early app, I think, at that point. Not many reviews available, but it seemed to be really comprehensive, really end-to-end. So we decided to, in our mind, take a risk and go ahead and integrate Shiprocket as the only shipping partner we had. So when we first went live, 6th of April 2018, the only sort of digital structure that we had in place was a Shopify website with a free template, and Shiprocket, which was also a free app integrated to this, to ensure that even if somebody finds us by mistake, because at that point we really weren't sure how people were going to find us, this person would get their product delivered to them in a sort of seamless fashion. And I think it's been no looking back since then. Shiprocket has been with us every step of the way. They've actually solved for problems that we were starting to think we needed but couldn't even articulate ourselves as well, and this has been really helpful with us, with Shiprocket always being like, one step ahead before us finding out what we really wanted with these sort of integrations and these partners. So the D2C ecosystem, when we looked at it back in 2018 itself, seemed to be really crowded. For us as a makeup brand, starting from scratch, we were literally retailing in the same places that people could find L'Oreal, Maybelline, Lakme, and all of the brands that us and our parents have known for years. So it was definitely quite a scary place to be in. But as I mentioned, there were things that we knew weren't being addressed, especially with the Indian context and the way Indians use products. A lot of these brands were working for people globally, but when you start to sort of nitpick, you find a lot of issues and you're wondering, why do I have to put up with these issues in the 21st century? So that was really the message for us that we were looking at resolving. How can this be a product that I want to use, I love using, and once I start using, I look back and wonder why I was using anything else all this while. So I feel as much as it looks like a crowded space, if there is a problem that you find is a problem for you and you start to look at the space around it, that's when you actually come to a place wherein you realize that, this is something that's missing, and this is something that even today, with literally every brand doing everything possible, there is scope for me to do something new. So I think entrepreneurship is just a whole bundle of emotions. There's a lot of excitement when things go right, but more often than not, there's things going wrong. So there's a lot of resilience that is super relevant and super important. Emotional systems, people to support you, or all sort of support systems are really important for you to start off on this journey. I think the thing that matters the most is doing things simply. When there is a solution that's available, especially like say something like Shiprocket, which integrates so many things, something like Shopify, which makes it really easy for you to just have a website in minutes versus coding it from scratch. When there are things that really cut down on your effort, I think it's been really a lifesaver for us to use these kind of things which have made it really simple, cut our time, cut the effort that we spend on a lot of these things, as well as cut the necessity or the requirement for us to look for specialists, especially on a bootstrap budget. A lot of these things become expensive when you try to create them on your own. So it's been really helpful for us, and I'm sure really helpful for any new entrepreneur. As we know, the market is really flooded. So every second is important, and how you can use tools that are already available really helps you gain those seconds and gives you a sort of platform or a step up versus if you had to do everything from scratch.